Florida State, this is your time to announce yourself to the country. Say, forget about that Boston College game. Who gives a shit about that? We are a true title contender. Like, you win this game, who knows? Next week, you might be the number one team in the country for snaps top 10. Depending on how other things break out. Like, there's real opportunity to
Yeah.
get people to believe that you are a true national championship contender here.
No, I've said this the other day in the show when the sense of that first game versus LSU, and it was a great win, and they dominate, especially in the second half. But I don't think LSU played nearly as good as they could have and should have. And I think we've seen what LSU's identity is these past 2 weeks. So I honestly still have some question marks about Florida State. Like, how good and elite are they? You look at them defensively. You kind of went through the entire roster, T. But when it comes to the stats, they are dead last in the ACC when it comes to passing yards given up per game. And it's not like they're going against a vaunted passing attack. Like that's the one saving grace this weekend versus Clemson is Klubnik is still prone to a ton of mistakes. Even you watch him last week, 2 or 3 times he threw the ball into coverage that should have been intercepted, and the defenders play defense for a reason. They dropped the pass. He's not a refined passer. The receivers on the outside are not dominant, but you still need to go out there and show me against a Clemson passing attack that a bad passing attack that you can shut them down, that you can eliminate them. And then also I want to see from this defense from Florida State, can you keep Klubnik in the pocket? I think that should be the goal of this game. You look at last week versus Boston College, what hurt Florida State? It's when the quarterback got outside and was being creative with his legs. That's when some of those big chunk plays happened down the field. So make Klubnik a quarterback inside the pocket. And I think you'll be fine, man. Like, I think your D-line can handle business against Clemson's, offensive line. You can make them a little bit more one-dimensional. And you flip it over to the other side. Clemson is not the defense that we've been accustomed to seeing at all. And we know Florida State. Jordan Travis, I don't know how healthy he's going to be. Is he 80%? Is he 90%? Oh, I don't think it really matters. I think he's going to be just fine. And those playmakers and outsiders are going to continue to make plays. So this is a big moment. I think they're ready for it based on what we saw versus LSU. Like, I don't think they're going to shy away. And once you win this football game, to me, they may be the number one team in the country when it's all said and done after this weekend.
If Mike Norvell, if you let this flawed Dabo Swinney team beat you, then it's never going to happen. Like, and it's interesting because if you were just listening to this game and you didn't pay a ton of attention to college football, likely as closely as everybody listening does, then you might think, well, hold on now. Like, Clemson's been great forever. They've been winning national championships, and what's Florida State's been nothing. And that's all true, but it has no bearing on this year. Like, I don't care about what's happened the past few years. It's time to break the wheel. Time for FSU to take over the ACC once again, and it's all right there in front of him. And really, quite frankly, there's no excuse not to. You are better. Like, it's weird. I don't really care about Florida State stats as much, Aaron. Like, I don't care that they don't have, 3 receivers leading the country like Washington does. I don't care that, you're not going to look at anything on paper. Like you said, worst pass defense in the ACC. I don't think many ACC teams have gone against a passing attack like what Jaden Daniels is bringing to bear. And if you could contain Jaden Daniels in that Tiger offense and have so much success against what I think is one of the best O-lines in the entire country, there's no reason you shouldn't do the same thing against Klubnik and Clemson, unless the moment's just too big for you. And Clemson in your head is just the boogeyman is just too big. I don't think it will. I saw Florida State minus 2.5, and the only thing that makes me uncomfortable is how comfortable I felt jumping to go pick that game. I mean, Florida State should, and the reason why I'm so high and I don't care about stats is because I really dove in and I studied them firsthand, and they just look above a college team. They just look like they got NFL guys at every single level, and I think Norvell remains an elite offensive mind, and so miss me with any. There are no excuses, FSU. If you don't win this weekend, it is a total failure. But I think you will. So, chop on.
And this will be a consistent. This will be a consistent thing for me over the next 2 days as we break some of these games down. Who has the better quarterback and who has the better receivers? To me, that's what college football has come down to. Like, who has the better skill and who is the better guy that can get them the ball in space and go make plays. And you have one of the best quarterbacks in the country in Jordan Travis, a top 3 receiving unit in the country with what they have there at Florida State. Plus you throw in the tight end as well. And you flip it over to Clemson, you have a very green quarterback that's still trying to get his footing in a new offense, and you have average
Yeah.
receivers. Like it's a mega difference between the two. And to me, like that is where college football is nowadays. The halves of the elite offenses that can score points because you have more receivers than a team can cover on that side of the football, and those that just don't have that. And Clemson does not have this secret sauce that we are just still, for those who haven't watched football or Clemson this year, you're so used to the Trevor Lawrences and the Deshaun's and the receivers they've had. They don't have that right now at all, and it's going to bite them in the ass this weekend.
And look, I know that because I mean, look, Duke beat Clemson 28-7. And I know it's a weird game that the computers hate because it's a huge outlier game where actually the raw box score should say that game should have been really close, or that maybe Clemson should even won, but I don't give a fuck. They beat Duke, or excuse me, Duke beat Clemson 28-7, and I think you're way better than Duke. So FSU, erase any of the doubt. The LSU win announced you to the world. Okay. This BC game, for some, maybe started making people look at you a bit sideways. You go take care of Clemson. You are very clearly the best team in the ACC. You erase any doubt. The rest of the year will be playoff talk, championship talk. Get ready. So this is a massive opportunity. If Florida State wants to be officially back, there will be no argument you can make against them being back if you do it this weekend.